So this is a trapezoid. And let me give you the definition for a trapezoid because you're gonna get this. So a trapezoid is a four-sided figure. So this has four sides, right? With only one pair of the opposite sides parallel. So this side is parallel to this side, right? They're parallel. Okay, so this is an example of a trapezoid. So look at it carefully and remember it. It is called a trapezoid.
Mhm.
Okay? Let me spell it for you. It is, let me see if I
Okay.
can write it.
Yes.
So
T-R-A-
trapezoid, T R
T-R-A-P-E-Z-O-I-D.
A
Okay.
P
G-E. I know how to spell it.
E Z O I D. So it's a trapezoid.
A-E-Z-O-I-D.
ID. So so this side is parallel to this side, right? Right?
Yes.
With a trapezoid, you'll have a short side and a long side,
Yes.
and then you have two walls. To find the area of a trapezoid, it is so the area
Mm-hmm.
of a trapezoid is A is equal to a half the height. So this is the height. So you're going to drop a perpendicular
Mm-hmm.
from from the base straight up to the other side. Okay? So it's a perpendicular
Mm-hmm.
straight up to the other side. This is the height. Now you're going to have in brackets the short base. So this is one base and then this is another base. So in brackets, you're going to have the short base plus the long base.
Yeah.
Okay? So the area, so remember the area is the space inside
Yes.
the shape. So the area of the trapezoid is this
Mm-hmm.
is the long base, this is the short base, and this is the height. Okay? It's half the height. You're going to multiply that. Sorry, you're going to add the short base to the long base, and you're going to multiply it by half the height. Okay? So let's all right. So it's half. What's the height? The height is what is the height? What is the height? Still waiting?
Millimeter.
No, the height is the 10 miles. This is 10 miles. The height is the perpendicular distance
Really?
from the base. This is what we call the height. So it's 10 miles. So the height is 10 miles.
Okay.
in bracket, the short base. What's the length of the short base?
Short base. 7.
No. This is the long base. The short base is shorter than the
2.
long base. So you have two bases in a trapezoid. One is the short base and the other one is a long base. What's the length of the short base? What's the length of the short base?
2.
2. Okay. So 2. And
2.
the length of the long base? What's the length of the long?
7.
7. Okay. 7. So in the brackets, we have the short base plus the
45.
long base. So a half of 10 is 5, right? So we can just put 5. And in brackets, we have
Yes.
7 plus 2, that's 9. So 5 times 9, that's 45. And it's 45 square miles because you're talking about an area. Okay? So,
Yeah.
okay, so 45, is that correct? The area of a trapezoid,
Yes.
half the height times you're going to have the short base to the long base. Okay? A trapezoid, two of the sides are parallel. Okay? All right, so let's plug that in the equation
Yeah.
and see. So we say it's 45, 45. Okay. All right, so what's the area of the square? What is this area? What is the area of this square? What is what's the area of a square?
10 centimeters.
No, that's the length. The area is the length times the breadth. The area cannot be a length. The area is a distance squared. So you have to take the length of one side times the length of the other side.
100.
That is the area. So the area of a square, and you need to go over these things every day, okay? The area of a square or a rectangle is the length times the breadth. So the length times the breadth. What is the length of the square? What is the length of the square?
Ten centimeters.
Okay, 10 centimeters. And what is the breadth of this square? What's the breadth?
10.
10. So the length and the breadth is the same thing in a square. So
that would be 100.
that's 100. So that's a
Yes.
100 square centimeters. Okay? 100 square centimeters. So let's put that here. Okay. Okay. So, all right. Good. So now this is a rectangle. Okay. And the area of a rectangle the area of a rectangle is? What is the area of the rectangle? It is the same thing as a square. It's the length times the breadth.
Width times width.
Or the length times the width. The same thing. So the length of the rectangle is? The length of the rectangle is?
The length. 3.
No, that is the length is always the longer side. The length is the longer side, so the length is 4. The length is the longer side. So the width or the breadth is?
3.
3. Okay. So the width or the breadth is the shorter side. So 3 4 is a 12. So it's an area, so it has to be 12 square inch. Okay, 12 square inches. All right, so the area of a rectangle or a square is the length times the width or breadth. You have to remember that. So you need to go over the lectures and fully understand. Okay, all right, so this is 12. Let's submit it. Okay. So, okay. So this is a triangle, right? This is a triangle. What is the area of a triangle? What is the area of a triangle?
2 feet.
No, I've been over this.
That
A length is feet. Area is square something. What is the formula for the area of a triangle?
times length.
What is it? What's the area? What's the formula for the area of a triangle? Okay, we did a lot of this last evening. You need to go over it. You have to remember this. It doesn't make any sense we go over it and you don't remember it. The area of a triangle is half the base
Width and length.
times the height. Okay, this is the base of the triangle. This is the base of the triangle. To get the height of the triangle, you have to get a perpendicular from the base, and you go up to the to the peak. Okay. Repeat this. This is the area of a triangle. The area of a triangle is. You need to repeat it. What is the area of a triangle?
Half base times height.
And you need to write it down. Okay, the area of a triangle is half the base times height. So you're going to get the base. The base is where it rests. It's resting down. And then this is the height. This is 90 degrees and it comes straight up to the peak, and that's the height. So let's solve this. So half. What's the base? What's the number for the base? What's the number for the base?
2 feet.
No, this is the height. You're not following. I'm not sure if you're distracted. You're not following.
2
This is the
feet.
base. No, this is the base where the triangle rests on whatever surface. This is the base. The base is 4 feet. The base is 4 feet. So this is the base of the triangle. This is the height of the triangle. Do you understand the difference between base and height? When you say the base of something, that means it rests, if the base of the pot is the bottom of the pot where it rests on the stove or the table. So this is the base of the triangle. It's 4 feet. The height is the perpendicular from the base up to the peak of the triangle. So what's the height of the triangle? What is the height of the triangle?
2 feet.
Okay, so that's 2 feet. So when you solve that, you get 8 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2, and that is equal to 4.
4.
So it is 4 squared feet. Remember, area, because you're multiplying feet times feet, you get square feet. An area is a square distance. So if this was inches, it would be square inch. If it was yards, it would be squared yards. Okay, so an area cannot just be feet or inches. It has to be square the distance. So let's plug that in the equation. So let's plug 4 and submit that. Okay, so the area of a triangle is half the base times the height. Okay, so let's do this one. So what's the area? What's the area of this triangle? What is the area of the triangle? What is the general formula for the area of a triangle?
6.9.
What is 6.9 is a distance. What's
Oh,
the area? The area. What is the formula I tell you to remember for the area?
half base.
Okay. So the formula you
A
need.
half base times height.
Okay. So this is what you need to remember. The area of a triangle is half the base times the height. What is the base of this triangle? What's the base of this triangle? Remember, the base of anything is
6.9.
right. So the base is where it rests on the surface. So the base is 6.9. And what's the height?
Right. 8.8.
So the height is 8.8. So remember, the height is always the perpendicular distance from the base up to the peak of the triangle. So that's 8.8. So let's simplify that. So we get 6.9 times 8.8, and we're going to divide by 2 because a half, right? So that's what you got.
Yeah.
What did you get?
I got 58.08.
No, it's a half times 6.9 times 8.8. So you're supposed to get 30.36. So it's the formula is a half based on.
36. Yeah, I just got that.
Okay, all right. So you got that. Good. So let's put that in. So it's 30.36. Okay, good. All right. Okay. So what shape is this? What is this shape?
Rectangle.
Okay, it's a rectangle. So because you have a length and you have a breadth, the length is greater than the breadth. If all the sides were equal, it would be a square. So the area of a rectangle, the area of a rectangle is equal to the length times the width or breadth. Let's use breadth. Length times width or breadth. You need to write this down and you need to walk with it until you remember it. What's the length of the rectangle?
Um, 6.4.
Okay, so the length is the longer side. So it's 6.4 and the breadth is, what's the breadth?
4.
4. So 6.4 times 4 is equal to
25.6.
okay. So now, okay, so remember it is 6.4 miles, right? Times 4 miles. So you're going to multiply the miles. So you get miles square. So you get miles square. And you with a square you put a 2 on top, right? Or you can write it out. Square miles, or you can put miles to the power of 2.
Yes.
An area is a distance square. You need to write this down as well. An area is a distance square. You cannot put the area as just a distance. Area is a distance square. So let's put that
Okay.
25.6 and let's submit that. All right. So what shape is this?
Square.
No, look at it carefully. Is that a square? Look at the sides. What shape is that?
That's not a rectangle.
Yeah, it's a rectangle. It looks square, but when you look at it,
Rectangle.
it's a rectangle. It looked like the sides are equal, but when you look at the numbers, you see that there's a
Mm-hmm.
slight difference, right? There's a slight difference. One side is 7 inches and the other
Yes.
side is 6.3. But just looking at it, it looked like a square. So you have to, all right, so what's the area of a rectangle? The area of a rectangle is, what's the area of the rectangle?
Um.
I told you to write it down. Okay, ev- all the areas that I've given you, you need to write it down. The area of a rectangle is the length times the width or breadth. You need to write this down because if I ask you again, you need to tell me what it is. The area of a rectangle or a square is the length times the breadth. Did you wrote it down? Did you wrote it down?
Yes.
Okay. What's the length? What is the length?
7.
The length is 7. So that's 7. So the longest side is what we call the length. And what is the width or breadth? What is the width or breadth?
6.3.
6.3. So that is the area of a rectangle. Length times the,
6.3.
so 7 times 6.3 is, so it is 7 times 6.3. What you got?
4.1.
How much? What you got? What did you get?
44.1.
Right, 44.1 inches. Square inches, okay? All right, let's submit that. So it is 44.1 inches, and that's equal. That is, let's see. All right, so that's good. Okay, so let's do that. Okay. All right, so what shape is this? What shape is it?
Triangle.
It's a triangle. The area of a triangle is, what's the area, what's the formula for the area of a triangle?
A half base times height.
Okay, so it's a half the base times the height. Okay, let's come on. So that's the area. This is the formula for the area of a triangle. This is the base, and this is the height. The base is where it rests on the surface. So let's put this in a proper fraction. Okay? So to put 10 and a quarter into a proper fraction, you know how to do that? Okay.
Not sure.
Okay. All right. This is how you do it. You have to take the 10, multiply it by the denominator. So 10 times 4 is 40. And then you add what's on top there.
Yeah.
So it's 41 over 4. So
Oh, yeah, I know how to do that.
so it's 41 over 4. Because 4 can go into 41 10 times, and you're left with 1. So it'd be 10 and a quarter. Okay? Similarly, when you come over here, 6 times 2, that's 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. So this is 13 over 2.
Plus one.
13 over 2.
Yeah.
Right? So to get that, 6 times 2, 12, plus 1, 13 over 2. Because 13 over 2, 2 can go into 13 6 times, and you're left over with 1, so it's 1 over 2. Right? So let's simplify that. So we're going to multiply. So we're multiplying fractions times the base. What's the base? What's the base?
6. 6
No. Remember, the definition of
and a
the
half.
is no. The base is the portion that rests down flat. This is the base. As I said, it's
What's
similar
that
to
over
when you
4.5?
if you have something on a desk, it's the portion that fits on the desk or on a table. So this is always the base. So what's the base? What's the base?
10.
What's the base?
10.
There's no 10 there. The base is 10 and a quarter. The base is 10 and a quarter. But when you convert it to a proper fraction, it's 41 over 4. Do you see that?
Oh.
This is the base. So it's a half time the base. So you get 41,
Yes.
41 over 4 times the height. What's the height?
13 over 2.
13 over 2. So that's the height. 13 over 2. So it's just a multiplication of fractions. So you just multiply the top. So it's 41, or yeah. So it's 41 times 13. So 41 times 13, that is 533. So
533.
yeah, 533.
Mm-hmm.
533. And you're going to divide 2 times 4, that's 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So I don't think we can simplify this anymore. Well, yeah, they wanted to. Yeah, they want you to do it. So, okay. So what we're going to do, 16 into 533. How many times can 16 go into? All right, so let's divide it by 16. So, all right, it's 32. All right, so 16 times 32. 16 times 32. All right, well, let me just. So 533 divided by 16 is 33.3. All right, let's now. So 16 times 32 is 512. Uh, so you can get, okay, 33 now. So 16 times 33 is 528. So it is 33. Sorry, 33, and you're left with 5. So it's 33 and 5/16. 33 and 5/16. You see how I got this? Because they want you to give it as a proper fraction. So 533 over 16 is 33 and 5/16. Did you see how I got that? All right, so that's 33
Yes.
and 5 over 16. Okay, all right. Okay, so what shape is this? What shape is this?
Trapezoid.
Right, this is a trapezoid. So these two, this is the short base and the long base, right? Short base, long base, and this is the height of the trapezoid. You just,
Mm-hmm.
from the long base, you go perpendicular straight up. This is the height. What is the area of a trapezoid? What is the area of a trapezoid? Okay, you're going to write this down. Write it down because I'm going to ask you before we finish again. The area of a trapezoid is, you're writing it down? Are you writing it?
Oh.
Are you writing down the formula for the area of a trapezoid? Are you writing?
Base times height.
No, it is half the height, and in brackets you have the short base
Really?
plus the long base. So you write this down in your book because I'm going to ask you again. This is the area of a trapezoid. This is the short base because it's short. This is the long base because it's longer than the short base. And then this is the height.
Is it supposed to be plus or?
Plus. This is a plus. Short base plus the long base. Half the height.
Is the sign supposed to be plus?
The sign between the short base and the long base? Yes, this is it's a plus. It's a plus. Okay, so all right. So what's the height of the trapezoid? What's the height of the trapezoid?
The height?
Yes.
Two.
No. This is the long base. This is the short base. This is the height. You're not paying attention. This is the height. The height is from the base going straight up to from the long base going straight up to the short base. This is the height. So what's the height?
Four.
There's no 4 there. Are you talking about 4 and 5/8?
4, 5/8.
So that is the height. 4 and 5/8. To convert this into a proper fraction, so it's going to be 4 times 8, that's 32, plus 5, that's 37/8, right? So that would be 37,
37. So how?
37/8,
Yeah. So we get 37/8.
right? And then we're gonna, in brackets, what's the short base? What's the length of the short base?
2, 1/8.
Right. So convert that into a proper fraction. What you get? You get 2 times 8, 16, plus 1, 17/8.
So 2, 8, 16 plus 1, 17.
17/8.
Yes, you'll have 17/8.
17/8, right? And then the long base is, what's the long base? What is the long base? Which one is the long base?
4.
4, right? So 4. But before you can convert 4 into a proper fraction as well, you know. You have to remember 4. Do you know that 4 is 4/1? Do you know that? Do you know that 4 is 4/1? 4 is the same thing as 4/1, right?
No.
Yes, it is. Because 1 into 4 goes 4 times. So it's equal to 4. Because 4 divided by 1 is 4 times. So 4, you can write 4 as 4/1. And because we have a fraction which is 17/8, we can convert this, multiply the top by 8 and the bottom by 8. If we multiply 4 8 is 32, right? Right? 4 8 is 32. And
Yes.
multiply 4 by 1 is 4, right? Sorry.
Yes.
No. This supposed, sorry. This supposed, what am I doing? Let me get rid of this. Okay. So, okay, so this is 8. This is 8. 8. So 32 over 8 is the same thing as 4, right? Right? 32
Mm-hmm.
over 8 is
Yes.
4, right? Okay. So this is, so we have to simplify
Yes.
it. This is, okay, so this is a half 37 over 8. So that's going to be 37 over 16, right? 37 over 16. In bracket. So you can add these two. So when the denominator is the same, you can add the numerator. So it's 17 plus 32, that's 49. 49 over 8, right? Right? Are you following me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
Yes.
okay, good. All right. So let's see. All right. So that's gonna be. So this is just a problem in in fraction. All right, so 37 times 49. So 37 times 49, that's equal to 1813. So that's 1813. Okay, 1813. And you're going to divide by 16 times 8. 16 times 8 is 128. 128. Okay, so they want a proper fraction. So 1813 divided by 128 is 14. So it's 14. So 14 times 128, 1792. So that's 8 times 8 plus 13. So that's 8 plus 13 is 21. So it's 1421 over 128. 128. I mean, this is really a crappy thing. But anyway, so it's 1421 over 128. Were you following me so far? So that's
Yes.
21 over 128. 1421 over 128. Let's see what they got. Okay. All right. So we're going to take a break here. Um, so let's take a break. All right. Let's